and good afternoon. This is Updates at Noon. I'm Mohanupriya. Making the headlines today. PM expresses commitment to help abandoned child. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has given his commitment to assist Rohana Abdullah, who was abandoned as a 2-month-old baby at a kindergarten 22 years ago after her Indonesian mother returned to her country. The matter was stated by Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri through a video shared on his social media account last night. In the posting, the Prime Minister, who was seen in his vehicle, contacted Rohana to get a true picture of the difficulties faced by the young woman. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said he found out about the difficulties experienced by Rohana after reading it in the newspaper. The Prime Minister said that his officer would contact the National Registration Department to assist with Rohana's documentation.
Bapa orang mana?
Bapa orang sini, orang Malaysia lah.
Dah hubungi dia, tahu lah.
Ya, sebab dia daripada kecil memang dah tinggalkan lah. Dia yang jaga dia daripada kecil.
Dan dia boleh beri keterangan lah.
Betul.
Hari Senin nantilah saya akan hubungi pejabat pendaftaran. Lepas tu kalau ada apa-apa nanti, kawan saya akan hubungi you.
In a video lasting 1 minute and 5 seconds, Rohana was also heard thanking the Prime Minister and hoping that he could help her. Media previously reported that Rohana, 22, was abandoned by her Indonesian mother and has been raised by Chi Hoi Lan, 83, who was a kindergarten teacher where Rohana's mother worked as a cleaner ever since. Rohana was reportedly forced to drop out of school because she did not have identification documents and had experienced anxiety due to the problems. Individuals who wish to fly their drones to record Thaipusam celebrations tomorrow are required to obtain permits from the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, CAAM. Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Datuk Hazani Ghazali said appropriate legal action would be taken against any individual found violating the law in this regard. Last night, Datuk Hazani said Federal Reserve Unit personnel have also been mobilized to assist in control measures for the safety and smooth running of the celebrations. Meanwhile, in Selangor, around 2,000 police personnel have been mobilized to ensure that Thaipusam festivities at 2 main locations in the state would run smoothly. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Arjunaidi Muhammad said 1,500 personnel would be based around Batu Caves, with the rest in Kuala Selangor. In Pulau Penang, Timor Laut District Police Chief ACP Sofian Santong said around 1,300 police personnel and officers will be on duty throughout the celebrations. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the transmission of HIV through sexual relationships is now higher compared to transmission via drug abuse. It was detected that the infection rate through intimate relationships, including homosexual and transgender, has increased 95%.
Jika dulu jangkitan HIV di kalangan mereka yang menyuntik dadah dah lebih daripada 80%, melalui program model KK dan juga langkah-langkah lain kita dapat menurunkan kepada 1%. Sekarang ini kita nak melihat kepada jangkitan HIV melalui jangkitan HIV melalui jangkitan seksual. Ya, ini sekarang ini menyumbang yang paling banyaklah jangkitan HIV sekarang ini. Terutamanya di kalangan MSM, men having sex with men, dan juga TG, transgender.
The Health Ministry has set the year 2030 as the target for ending AIDS disease in the country. The Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources, KETSA, has proposed installing tracker collars on about 150 Malayan tigers nationwide to facilitate the tracking of the endangered animal. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Taqiyuddin Hassan, said the use of a tracker collar using satellite technology could detect if the animal had moved to another area or left its original habitat. He said the Department of Wildlife and National Parks Perhilitan has been instructed to study the use of the tracker collar on the Malayan tiger population as used on wild elephants previously. He added that the government was serious about protecting the Malayan tigers from being threatened to extinction, and various actions are being taken to balance the importance of development and environmental sustainability. Meanwhile, commenting on the issue of tigers roaming in Pos Bihai, Gua Musang recently, believed to have been disturbed by logging activities, Datuk Sri Takiuddin said that each state government was given the authority according to the law that has set an annual quota for logging.
Tiap tahun dia panggil CTT, Jatuan Tebangan Tahunan. CTT ini ditetapkan oleh Majlis Tanah Negara. Jadi kerajaan negeri ada hak untuk dia mengeluarkan lesen membalak ni. Memang itu hak dia. Dan itu menjadi pendapatan, revenue kepada negeri. Itu memang tak boleh dinafikan.
Some 400 residents of Ladang Biram and Kampung Kebun Baru have been advised to evacuate following air pollution brought about by a fire at the Pulau Burung Landfill near Nibong Tebal last Wednesday. 2 evacuation centres have been opened at Sekolah Kebangsaan Sarjana Indah and Sekolah Kebangsaan Bakap Indah to house those evacuated. State Environment and Welfare Committee Chairman P. Boon Poh said his office was identifying those affected to be included in the list to facilitate evacuation and assistance. He said only 2 male adult members of each household were allowed to check on their house and properties, and they must report to the police each time they enter the housing area, which is now classified as a restricted area. Meanwhile, Pulau Penang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow, who visited the site of the fire, expressed his regret over the incident. The public is reminded to continue to abide by the health advice, such as to avoid outdoor activities, seek treatment at a nearby clinic or hospital when there are symptoms of shortness of breath or when feeling unwell, and to always wear a mask when outdoors. The Pulau Burung landfill site at Nibong Tebal was reported to have caught fire at about 5 p.m. last Wednesday, and the fire department has formed a fire break to prevent the fire from spreading further. About 6.5 hectares of the 16.2 hectare landfill site was affected, but no casualties were reported. A fun outing for 6 young boys at Sungai Masai near Taman Masai Utama, Johor Bahru turned tragic after 2 of them drowned. The body of Sharif Mohammad Sharizan Sabri, 11, was recovered at 9:18 p.m., while the body of Mohammad Ahlan Kiram, 14, was found at 10:32 p.m. last night. Johor Zone 1 Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Superintendent Hamdan Ismail said 21 firefighters, including 9 members of the department's dive team, assisted by the Royal Malaysian Police and the Civil Defence Force, were mobilised to the scene of the incident after they received a distress call at 6:15 p.m. According to initial information, Sharif was believed to have fallen while trying to retrieve his slipper that had slipped into the river. Mohammad Ahlan was believed to have tried to help Sharif, who was drowning, but he failed, and that resulted in both of them drowning. Hamdan said the remains of both boys were brought to the Sultan Ismail Hospital by the police for further action. Announcing the procurement of 3 import players into their team, Kedah Darul Aman KDA FC is set to introduce 2 more import players who have agreed to join the club. However, the names of the 2 players is still being kept a secret. KDA FC Chief Executive Officer Kamal Idris Ali said the addition of the 2 players will be in the striker and defensive midfielder positions. This decision will open up more opportunities for the coaches to evaluate and devise new strategies and tactics. It is also seen as a great catalyst for diving into the local leagues as well as Asian tournaments, which are coming up very soon.
2 lagi pemain import yang telah pun menandatangi dengan kita tu adalah daripada yang tak pernah lagi beraksi di Liga Malaysia, dan dia orang ni beraksi di Liga besar di Jordan, di Norway, Spain, dan kita harap dia akan menjadi nilai tambah kepada pasukan KDFC pada tahun 2022 dan menjadi satu mentor ataupun rangsang kepada player-player tempatan kita untuk lebih bersemangat, insya-Allah.
And that wraps up today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story today, PM expresses commitment to help abandoned child. Tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM. I'm Mohana Priya. Thank you for your company.